Hi there, in this video we're going to find the area of circles. Your objective for today is to find the area of a circle and to use the area formula to solve real-world problems. Some important vocabulary that you need to know is that area means the number of square units inside of a shape. So in this case we're talking about circles. Alright, so area is everything inside of a circle, and when we find the area we're talking about square units. So all of our units are going to be squared. You also need to know what a semicircle is. Semicircle means half of a circle, and a quarter circle means 1/4 of a circle. We also need to know what the area of a circle formula is. My suggestion to you would be to make sure that you have this formula at the top of your paper before you do any problems that involve area. So area equals pi r squared, right? Pi r squared. Squared means that you're taking the radius and you're multiplying it again by itself. So this is like saying pi times r times r. So again, r squared is not the same as 2r. Alright, r squared means r times r. So for example, 5 squared is 25, whereas 2 times 5 is 10. Right? Do you see how 5 squared is not the same thing as saying 2 times 5? So make sure that you know that. Make sure that you go forward really knowing and understanding this part. Alright, so it says find the area given the radius, use 3.14 for pi. So, we're given the radius of 4, we have our area formula at the top, and let's substitute the radius in for 4. So area equals 3.14 times 4 squared. I'm going to expand this 4 squared so that it is 4 times 4. Alright, so 3.14 times 4 times 4 gets you 50.24 meters squared. The next example, we have find the area given the diameter, use 3.14 for pi. So here we're given the diameter of 12 centimeters, right? The radius is half of that, so that would be 6 centimeters. So we're going to plug in 6 centimeters for our radius. So area equals 3.14 times 6 squared. I'm going to expand 6 squared to be 6 times 6. And then when we multiply all of those, we end up getting 113.04 centimeters squared. Right, so your area would be 113.04 centimeters squared. In our next example, we have find the exact area of the circle. Exact area. That means you write in terms of pi. That means that pi needs to be in your answer. So we're not plugging in 3.14 for pi. In this first example of the circle, we have 5 as a radius. So we're going to plug in 5 for r. So area equals pi times 5 squared, which is the same thing as saying pi times 5, which is the same thing as saying pi times 25, or 25 pi feet squared. In the next example, we have the diameter. Right here is the diameter of 20, so we need to find our radius. Our radius is 10, right? Because half of it, from the center out, that's our radius. So the radius would be 10. So we're going to plug in 10 for r. So pi times 10 squared, which expanded is pi times 10 times 10, which is pi times 100, or 100 pi, and this should be meters squared. Alright, find the area of a semicircle, use 3.14 for pi. Just so we can remember from our vocabulary, a semicircle means half of a circle. So here, we're given this diameter of 10, so we're going to use the 5. Now, since a semicircle is half of a circle, you can multiply it by half, like on this side. Or you take the area formula and divide by 2 on the side. I'm going to go ahead and assume that most of you guys are going to use this formula, but I'm going to show you both, just so you guys know. So we have 1/2 times pi r squared, right? Normally the formula is pi r squared, but we're going to multiply it by half now. So we have 1/2 times 3.14 times 5 squared. That's the same thing as doing 1/2 times 3.14 times 5 times 5, which if you multiply all of that, you get 39.25 centimeters squared. On the other side, if we plug in 3.14 for pi, 5 for r, and then divide it by 2. So find the area like you normally would, 3.14 times 5 times 5, and then divide it by 2. So 3.14 times 5 is 78.5, divided by 2 ends up getting you 39.25 centimeters squared. So either way works, but it really doesn't matter. In our next example, we have find the area of a quarter circle, which if you can remember, a quarter circle is 1/4 of a circle. So again, you either multiply the area formula by 1/4, or you divide it by 4. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the dividing by 4. So area equals pi r squared divided by 4. We're given the radius of 4, so we're going to plug in 4 for r. So 3.14 times 4 squared divided by 4. So that's 3.14 times 4 times 4, again dividing by 4. So we have 50.24 divided by 4, which will get us 12.56 centimeters squared. So again, it's like you found the area of the whole circle, and then you just divided it by 4. Apply your knowledge. So here's a question where you're going to have to apply what you know. So the floor will have a circle design with a 20-foot radius. The material of the floor will cost about $3.25 per square foot. About how much will the floor cost? So first you need to find the area to see how many square feet of the material is needed. So you need to figure out how much material you need. So in order to do that, you use the area formula. Area equals pi r squared. So we know the radius is 20. So we're going to do 3.14 times 20 squared, which is the same thing as saying 3.14 times 20 times 20, which will finally get us 1,256 feet squared. Right? Once you get the area, once you know how much of the floor is going to need the material, you're going to have to figure out the cost of that material. We're going to take our area and we're going to multiply it. So we're going to multiply that 1,256. We're going to multiply that by $3.25. And when you do, you end up getting $4,082. $4,082 for your total cost of the floor. All right, so in our next example, we have the circumference of a circle is 250 feet. What is the area of it? Use 3.14 for pi. So we know that the formula for area is area equals pi r squared. We are not given the radius, though. We are given the circumference. Is there any way to find the radius given the circumference? Well, yes. If you recall how to find the radius given the circumference, you use the circumference formula, c equals 2 pi r. You plug in what you know, so 250 for c, 3.14 for pi, and r we don't know. We start solving. 250 equals 6.28 r, which you would have to divide both sides by 6.28, and you end up getting 39.8 feet is your radius. All right, so first you need to find your radius given the circumference, and then once you have your radius, then you could solve for the area. So we're going to plug in our radius of 39.8 in for our area formula. So area equals 3.14 times 39.8 squared. Expanded is 3.14 times 39.8 times 39.8. And then once you multiply, you end up getting 4,973.89 feet squared. All right, so some concluding thoughts. The formula of a circle, or I should say the formula of area of a circle, is area equals pi r squared. Whoops. The area of a semicircle is half of that. The area of a quarter circle is 1/4 of that. And if you are given the circumference and you need to find the area, you must find the radius first using the circumference formula. All right, so I hope you guys learned how to use the area of circles formula. Thank you for watching.